This is the Moza R5 Bundle, an entry-level direct drive combo that a lot of people are looking at as their first serious setup. And this is my daily driver, a Simucube 2 Pro wheelbase with a Simagic P1000 hydraulic pedals and haptic motors. All up, it cost about 5 times more than the R5 Bundle. And today, I'm comparing them together. I want to answer a really simple question. How big is the actual difference on track between this entry-level setup and the high-end gear? Moza sent me this R5 bundle for review. It's a pretty mature entry-level combo. It's had a lot of positive feedback, and there are already plenty of in-depth review out there breaking down every screw and USB port. So instead of doing another traditional review, I thought it might be more fun and hopefully more useful to put it head-to-head against my daily driver. Yes, it's an unfair comparison, but that's kind of the point. It shows you what the upgrade path actually looks like. So in this video, I will be comparing the wheelbase, the wheel, the button box, the quick release, and the pedals. As always, everything you hear in this video is 100% my own opinion. Moza has zero say in what I do or don't say here. They literally told me, this is your review, which I really respect. Damn! I'm also already a bit of a Moza fanboy, to be honest. I bought the Moza and Boost Active pedals with my own money before they ever reached out. So stay tuned for another independent review. If you'd like to support the channel for more independent reviews like this, I've got some affiliate links down in the description. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but really helps the channel out.
Thanks! Love you!
Before we dive into how they actually feel, let me quickly lay out what exactly we are comparing so we're on the same page. On the entry-level side, we've got the Moza R5 Bundle, which comes with a 5.5Nm direct drive wheelbase, a 280mm steering wheel, and the Moza SR-P Lite pedals. I also got the SR-P Lite clutch add-on and the brake performance kit. The R5 bundle itself comes in around 700–800 Australian dollars or 400 to 400 USD, and then you add a little bit extra for the clutch and the brake performance kit. If you are in Australia, definitely shop around. Places like JB Hi-Fi, ScopeTech, PLE Computers, The Gamesman, M-Wave, PC Case Gear, Player One, Sim Gear, and Gamer Gear Direct all stock Moza product, and the prices and the promotions are constantly changing, so it's worth comparing before you buy. On the high-end side, my current daily driver is a Simucube 2 Pro wheelbase with the same Racing Bay Ultra V2 button box and a Turn R305 rim. The pedals are the Simagic P1000 with a hydraulic module and the P-HPR vibration motors. All up, that daily driver combo is over 4,000 Australian dollars, easily 5 or 6 times more expensive than the Moza setup, and definitely in don't tell your partner the real number territory. And just so you know, both setups are mounted on the same Track Racer TR160 aluminum profile with a 3DOF motion system from HM Motion. So the only variables here are the wheel and the pedal combo. Let's kick off the comparison with a wheelbase. So the R5 itself, my first impression is it looks and feels really solid. It's got this aluminum housing that's pretty much acts like a massive heatsink. And just like the Simucube, there's no internal fan, which means no annoying fan noise. It generally feels pretty premium in the hand for what is technically an entry-level base. It's also way more compact than the Simucube 2 Pro. Part of that is just the different motor inside. At the end of the day, the R5 is a 5.5Nm base. The Simucube 2 Pro is a bit of a monster at 25Nm. Totally different league. But that smaller footprint is actually a huge win for beginners, especially if you're a desk racer. On my setup, I don't even need to fully take it off the desk. I just loosen the clamp screws, slide it off to the side, and I've got my desk back. For context, my desk is tiny, like 120 by 60 centimeters. So if it works here, it's going to fit on most desks out there. What really surprised me though is how smooth R5 feels when you rotate the shaft by hand. It's honestly right up there with Simucube in terms of the smoothness. That smoothness really matters, especially on a lower torque base, because it lets all those little subtle forces come through more clearly. Out on track, the R5 feels responsive, nice and quiet. I can clearly feel when the car's getting light over crest, the exact moment the rear starts to step out, and the texture of curbs and the road surfaces. And catching slides is absolutely doable now, something I really struggled with back when I first started on the Logitech G29. Where you do start to feel its limit is in high downforce cars or when you smash big sausage curves. You can feel the R5 kind of hitting its torque ceiling and start to clip. The gap between the tiny little details and the really big hit is definitely narrower than on the Simucube, which to be fair is exactly what you expect with such a big torque difference. But honestly, if you never used a stronger bass before, you probably won't notice this at first. You'll be just blown away by how alive the wheel feels compared to a gear or belt driven bass like G29 or Thrustmaster T300. On the flip side, 5.5mm is kind of the sweet spot for desk users. You can clamp it to a normal desk without worrying the whole thing is going to tap out or start flexing like crazy. The table clamp opens nice and wide, and the compact footprint makes it easy to fit even on desk with a bit of a lip at the front. Now, over to the Simucube 2 Pro. Things definitely move into that next tier, exactly what you would expect. You've got a ton of more torque headroom and a very high resolution encoder, so the level of detail is kind of insane. You get a super precise mid-corner corrections, small camber and surface changes that are more obvious. And when you hit big bumps or curves, the wheel doesn't just max out, there's still room left in the force feedback to keep giving you detail on top. If I had to boil it down, the R5 gives you about 70–80% of the core direct drive experience if you're coming from something like a Logitech or non-DD Thrustmaster. It makes the car feel alive and you can actually run it on most desks. Fantastic starting point. The Simucube 2 Pro gives you the last 20–30% more headroom, finer macro detail, and a more open natural force feedback feel. The extra bit is awesome, no doubt, but you pay a lot for it. And it's not like it magically makes you fast overnight. It mostly makes the whole experience more immersive and a bit more forgiving when you're flirting with the limit. Now let's move on to the wheel. The wheel that comes with the bundle is on the smaller side at 280mm. But that's actually a really good match for a lower torque base. Smaller rim means the force feedback feels stronger and more direct. The frame is aluminum. The grips are this microfiber leather, and overall it feels nice and solid in hand. Definitely doesn't feel like a toy. Now the button box is plastic, and yeah, the button do feel a bit plasticky. But you get 22 mappable input, which is more than enough for most racing combos. On the back, you got 2 shift pedals, no dual clutch at this price point unfortunately, and you also get this LED RPM strip, which is actually way nicer than what you normally see on beginner wheels. If you are more into Formula style rims, Moza also has the ES Formula wheel, which pairs really nicely with the R5 as well. For reference, on my Simucube, I'm running the same Racing Bay Ultra V2 button box with a 10 R305 rim. That combo alone cost more than the entire R5 bundle. Yes, it definitely feels more premium in hand, but if you're talking about pure lap time, the difference is really small, if any. What really jumps out to me here is the quick release. Honestly, I actually think Moza's quick release is nicer to live with than Simucube's. It locks in with a really solid click, and swapping wheels on and off is super easy. On the Simucube though, you've got to pull that pin with a little more effort every time. Most importantly, I'm not feeling any rattle at all from the Moza quick release, even on the load. The quick release comes with the R5 bundle is the same style of quick release that uses on their more expensive rims, and it's based on real car NRG quick release design. So you can even mount a real car rim if you want, you just won't have a button box then. And if you want to mix and match, Moza also sells an official quick release adapter, so you can run third-party wheels from brands like SR-P or Simagic as well. Alright, next up, pedals. And this is where I think the high-end gear has the biggest impact on lap time. On the R5 bundle, you get the SR-P Lite pedals. They use Hall effect sensors, so they are position-based, not pressure-based. Out of the box, the brake is okay, but it's a bit too light and the travel is quite long. For me, that makes it really difficult to build solid muscle memory. Consistent braking is tricky and proper trail braking is almost impossible because you're chasing how far the pedal moves instead of how hard you're pressing. Once you install the brake performance kit, things get a lot better. The pedal gets firmer, the resistance feels more progressive, and it becomes much easier to trail brake and stop at the same point every lap. What's missing is a native vibration motor for the pedals. I find pedal haptics really helps with the immersion and the lap times, giving you a cue before lockup or when the car is about to slide. There are some community mods for this. I will drop a couple of links in the description if you want to experiment. Now moving on to my main rig, I'm running the Simagic P1000 hydraulic pedals. Again, this pedal itself, it costs more than the entire R5 bundle. These are pressure-based pedals, so your brain and your muscle memory are working off how hard you press, not how far you press. The benefits are pretty clear. It's much easier to hit the same brake pressure lap after lap. You get more confidence right at the threshold of lockup, and you got a better control with the trail braking, especially in that last little bit of a pedal release as you roll into the apex. So again, the pattern is pretty similar to the wheelbase. The R5 bundle with a brake kit is absolutely good enough for most people to drive fast and consistently, especially if you spend a bit of time tuning the brake curve. The P1000 gives you that extra layer of precision and consistency, which really helps if you are the type of person chasing every last tenth in competitive racing. If I had to pick one component that affects the lap time the most, I'd actually say pedals matters way more than the difference between the R5 and high-end wheelbase. After bouncing back and forth between the Moza R5 bundle and my Simucube Simagic setup, what's the verdict? If you are a new sim racer or you coming from a Logitech or Thrustmaster non-direct wheel drive, I honestly think the R5 bundle with a brake performance kit is a brilliant starting point. It gives you proper direct drive feel, good enough pedals to be fast, consistent, and it doesn't require a dedicated cockpit. For many people, this could actually be a final setup. If you already know you're in this hobby for the long haul and you want to race competitively and if you've got the budget and space, yes, a high-end rig like Simucube 2 Pro, P1000, Motion, and Haptics does feel better. It's more detailed, more precise, more immersive, but you're also paying a lot of money for that last slice of performance and feel. If I had to put numbers on this, purely in terms of the driving experience, the R5 bundle gives you about 70-80% of what I enjoy daily on my high-end gears, and the remaining 20-30% is where all the cost, complexity, and commitment live. So no, you don't need a high-end rig to enjoy sim racing or to be quick. Starting with something like R5 is a fantastic way to figure out what you actually care about. After a while, you will know, do you want more torque, better pedals, different wheel, or do you actually feel totally happy with where you are? With this knowledge, and if you do decide to upgrade down the track, the R5 holds its value well, enough that you are not throwing money away, especially compared to the experience, confidence, and the racecraft you have picked up along the way.